Hey everyone, my name is Cody Gatz. I'm the senior outdoor instructor with Freedom Mountain Survival, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to start a fire in adverse weather. I'm sure you can hear and I'm sure you can see around me, it is absolutely pouring down rain and everything is soaking wet. But we're just going to be doing the best we can to start a fire in this adverse weather and just using the materials and resources we have around us. We're going to be using this striker. There's many different types of strikers, many different types of things you can use to start a fire, but this can be used while soaking wet, so we're going to go ahead and use this. When it comes to starting a fire, especially in this kind of weather, there are a few different fire building techniques, but I'm going to show you the one that is best used for me personally. I definitely urge you to go out and practice and go to many different sources to educate yourself in this subject, but I'm going to do the best I can to demonstrate that to you today. So real quickly, I want to talk about fire starter. Especially when everything is soaking wet, your choices are extremely limited. So I like to turn to trees. A tree like this that has extremely flaky bark has dry inner bark. So when you're peeling trees for their inner bark, just like birch, you want to kind of sort out what's dry and what's wet. And what's dry, you want to stuff into your pockets. So you want to try to get as much in there as possible to try to avoid it getting any more wet than it is. You can never have too much of this stuff, guys. You want to gather as much as you can, stuff in your pockets, and keep going from there. Other things you can utilize to start fires with is pine sap. Especially in rainy conditions. If you find a pine tree and you see it's covered in pine sap, if you gather some of that, other than it being very good for you to consume, you can use that as fire starter as well. So this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be peeling this stuff off and using this to start my fire. So now that I got all of my fire starter gathered, there is the next step in actually having the wood that you need to start your fire, right? So let's start off by finding what I like to call twiggies. All right, see how small this is? Once your fire starter that we've gathered ignites, it's gonna catch this stuff on fire. Though it's wet, it's extremely thin, so it's gonna catch pretty quickly. This is the next thing you're gonna need to gather, guys. Gather tons and tons of it. Tear it down from these trees. All right, here you go. I have a little handful of it. Gather more and more and more. Gather as much as you possibly can. And once you have lots and lots of this stuff, then you're gonna need to go and gather these tiny little twigs here to catch on fire. And then you're gonna catch a little bit bigger stuff like this on fire. And then you're gonna catch stuff like this on fire. And stuff like this on fire, guys. It's step by step, okay? You start small and you work big. You want to have a big fire at some point. You don't want to just be burning tiny little sticks the whole time, because that's not going to do you any good, especially when you're trying to be rescued. So you want to have a big friendly fire. This fire is your BFF, okay? It's going to keep you alive. It's going to produce a lot of smoke. It's going to do everything that you need to keep you psychologically prepared in the situation that you need to survive. So I kind of want to explain the technique that I'm using here. I'm going to be using an emergency lean-to fire build. This fire build, you use a backstop. The backstop is used to block wind, so you face that in the direction if the wind's coming this way. This is going to help block the wind as I'm trying to start my fire. These sticks that are stuck in the ground and the one that I stuck up is used to, when I have a handful of fire starter or kindling, I place that right here. It keeps it off of the ground, the wet ground, and when I light it, heat rises, okay? So it's gonna help catch all that on fire a lot faster and a lot easier. So that's why I've made it this way. You stick these in the ground, you place it right here, it keeps it off the ground, you make sure you have a big pile of it. I'm gonna be demonstrating that here soon. And this right here so far is the foundation of how you're gonna be starting your fire. So as you can tell, the reason I set these two sticks in the ground like I did, it keeps everything off of the ground. I was able to light my kindling, carefully put it underneath, and had enough of it to ignite the rest of the smaller pieces of kindling that I had inside of here. What to do if you this is clearly soaking wet, but once you have your fire going and you're able to do that, you're going to want to use the fire while you have it to dry off all your other fire starting material. So set it close to the fire, allow the fire's heat to dry off your fire starter, and that's going to help you start your next fire. Look at this, fire starter's already dry. I just had it by my fire here. Now that we got our fire started, we're going to be able to dry our clothes off. I'm soaking wet, and just standing next to it's already drying me off. I'm already feeling a lot better. The rainy day is a lot less rainier for me, best way to put it. I'm feeling a lot more psychologically hyped now that I got a fire going. The fire isn't here just to provide warmth, okay? The fire is not here just to provide light and cook your food and things like that. Your fire is here to make you feel happier. It can provide so much for you. It is literally your friend, okay? So we want to take care of our fire, we want to feed our fire, and we want to make sure our fire is contained and doesn't go out of control, because the last thing you want is the forest to catch on fire while you're trying to live in it, right? So we want to respect our fire, okay? So make sure you gather more wood than you need. Always keep your wood covered. Even if you got to make a little makeshift lean-to, just like when I demonstrated how to build a shelter, you can make a second one just to store wood in. Hey guys, before I go, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of dad advice. Invest in yourself. Education is extremely important, and if you don't take the time to get out there and train in whatever it is you want to be proficient in, the road to success is extremely difficult. You can't help others if you don't help yourself. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and be safe. So now that I got my fire started, and as soon as I start filming, the smoke wants to get in my face. All right guys, so once you get your fire started,